First grade buddies, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good time together, making the best of it. Anybody get out and walk today? I hope you did. You riding your bike there, Grayson? Tough snowmobiling, isn't it? But I hope you got a bike and you're up there on two wheels. Nicole, miss you, girlie. How are you doing? Oh, I was gonna wear my little vest, my Daisy vest. So I get to read one of my favorite books, Two Bad Ants. I hope you like it as much as I do. It's one of my favorite books at all times. It's about these two ants, and you gotta learn. I need some help on this. I think you guys can help me on it. James, Hermione, can you help me with it? Because if you do, we'll be able to figure out something. And it's one of my favorite authors. And this author, Chris Van Allsburg, he not only does he write the book, he also does the pictures. Hey, what do we call the person that does the pictures? Aiden? Yeah. Is he right, James? Yeah, illustrator. Yeah, that's good. Ethan, I hope you're doing good. You missing baseball as much as I do? Boy, do I miss baseball. So, let me go back to the front page. Yep. The news traveled swiftly through the tunnels of the ant world. A scout had returned with a remarkable discovery. A beautiful, sparkling crystal. When the scout presented the crystal to the ant queen, she took a small bite. Then she quickly ate the entire thing. She deemed it the most delicious food she had ever tasted. Nothing could make her happier than to have more. Much more. The ants understood. They were eager to gather more crystals because the ant queen was the mother of them all. Her happiness made the entire nest happy. Hey, who knows what a scout is? Hands up. No, hands up. Grayson? Yes. No. Ethan, how about you? Oh. Can anybody add to that? Nicole? Yeah, it's kind of the person that goes out searching for things. We were all kind of right so far. But it's a person that goes out and looks for things and brings back information. It was late in the day when they departed. Long shadows stretched over the entrance of the ant kingdom. One of the insects climbed out, one after one, following the scout who had made it clear there were many crystals where the first had been found. But the journey was long and dangerous. James, would you be brave enough to go there? Into the woods at night? They marched into the woods that surrounded their underground home. Dusk turned to twilight, twilight to night, and the path they followed twisted and turned, every bend leading them deeper and deeper and deeper into the forest. Sorry to move like that. Picking up my paper. You afraid, Ethan? Just a little bit? Yeah, you're a brave man. More than once, the line of ants stopped and anxiously listened for sounds of the hungry spiders. But all they heard was the call of the crickets, echoing through the woods like a distant thunder. Dew formed on the leaves above. Without warning, huge cold drops fell on their heads. The marching ants moved on. The firefly passed overhead. For an instant, lit up the woods with a blinding flash of blue-green light. Oh, okay, now we're getting to the part where you need to be a detective. Who can? No shout-outs. Just be a detective, okay? Hermione, are you a detective? Being quiet today. I want you to help me out, okay, Hermione? I'm going to make you answer the first question, okay? At the edge of the forest stood a mountain. The ants looked up, but could not see the peak. It seemed to reach right up to the heavens, but they did not stop. Up the side, they climbed higher and higher. The wind whistled through the cracks of the mountain face. The ants could feel the force bending their delicate antennae. Their legs grew weak as they struggled upwards. At last, they reached the edge and crawled through a narrow tunnel. Hermione, where do you think this is? Well, bricks. You're right about bricks, but where do you see bricks at? Yeah, a house. Everybody got that? They're climbing up a house, a brick wall. Where do you think they're going? We'll find out. When the ants came out of the tunnel, they found themselves in a strange world. Smells they had known their entire life. Smells of dirt and grass, and rotting plants had vanished. There was no more wind, and more puzzling of all, it seemed the sky was gone. They crossed... Aiden, hold on, I'll give you a chance, okay? They crossed a smooth, shiny surface, then followed the scout up the glassy, curved wall. They reached their goal. From the top of a wall, they saw below to a sea of crystals. One by one, the ants climbed down into the sparkling treasure. Okay, I'm going to let you answer, Aiden, but give me a second here. Go look at the book. Where is that? Bathroom? Who thinks it could be another room? James? Yeah, kitchen. It is. Got this roll right here, and we're all thinking about toilet paper lately, but I think that's a paper towel thing in the kitchen. Grayson, I'm going to make you help me on this one, okay, bud? Quickly, they each chose a crystal. Then they turned and started their journey home. There was something about the unnatural place that made the ants nervous. In fact, they left in such a hurry, none of them noticed. 2 ants stayed behind. Here's your clue, right here. It's only part of the word, G-A-R, gar. But in this case, it sounds gur. Nicole, put your hand down, okay? Why go back? One of them said. This place feels like home. It does not feel like home, but look at those crystals. You're right, said the other. We could stay here and eat this tasty treasure every day forever. The 2 ants ate the crystal after crystal until they were too full to move, and then they fell asleep. So in the kitchen, there's some crystals, and it ends with gur. Okay, that's funny, Grayson, but that's not what it is. Nicole? I'll give you a clue. It's real sweet. Ooh, everybody got it now. James? Yep. Sugar. Ethan, your turn next. You got it? You ready? Daylight came. The sleeping ants were unaware of changes going to take place in their newfound home. A giant silver scoop hovered above them, then plunged deep into the crystals. It shoveled up both the ants and the crystals and carried them high into the air. The ants were wide awake when the scoop turned and dropping them in from frightening heights. They tumbled through space into a shower of crystals, and they fell into a brown, bitter lake. Okay, we know it's sugar. What? Yeah, Ethan, that's a spoon. Where do you think these guys are going now? Brown Lake. Hermione? Well, in the morning it probably wouldn't be soda, but that's a good guess. Ethan, back to you. I'm going to let you see one more page and then you got to guess this one, okay? Okay, I tell you what. Aiden, since you want to shout out, you tell me if Ethan is right when I ask this question, okay? Then the giant scoop stirred violently back and forth, crushing the waves, falling over the ants. They paddled hard to keep their tiny heads above the water. But the scoop kept spinning around and around in the boiling hot water, and around it went, creating a whirlpool until it sucked the ants deeper and deeper. They both held their breath and finally bobbed to the surface, gasping for air with mouthfuls of terrible bitter water. Okay, Ethan, what do you think it is? Yeah, I bet your mom drinks that in the morning. It's coffee. Good job. Is he right, Ethan? I mean, Aiden, is he right? Ooh. Okay. Aiden, you get this one, okay? The lake tilted and it began to empty into a cave. The ants could hear the rushing water and felt themselves pulled towards the pitch black hole. Suddenly, the cave disappeared and the lake became calm, and the ants swam to the shore and found the lake had steep sides. They hurried down the wall that held the lake back. The frightened insects looked for a place to hide, worried that the giant scoop might shovel them back up again. Close by, they found a huge round disc with holes in it that they could neatly hide in. So, Aiden, you ready? What's the cave? Yeah, big old mouth that the ants almost ended up going in there. Look at that big pig nose right there. Ooh, this is a good one. You're going to have to think about this one. Why don't we do this? I'm going to finish the book in just a second, but let's take a break for our sponsor, and we'll be right back.
Well, welcome, my friends. It's time for you to get off that horse and take a little break and let's wash your hands. Yeah, boy, it's time to wash your hands. Take about 20 seconds to do that, and you'll be clean and good for a while. Thank you. Now let's take a little mosey on back to where our story left off. Yahoo, boys.
Okay. We got a new place they're stuck in. See if you guys can figure it out. But as soon as they climbed inside, their hiding place was lifted, tilted, and lowered into a dark space. When the ants climbed out of the holes, they were surrounded by a strange red glow. It seemed every second the temperature was getting warmer and warmer and warmer. But soon as it became so unbearably hot, they thought they would soon be cooked. But suddenly, the disc they were standing on rocketed upwards, and the two hot ants went flying through the air. Yeah, we use this kind of in the morning to kind of cook things, but we use a different thing. Nicole? Toaster, yeah. Who knows what these are? Aiden? James? Yeah. I don't know. Have you guys ever had muffins before? Look at this. I like this. Hope this comes into focus. Those ants are getting catapulted and ricocheted up into the air. Okay, this is yours, Hermione. They landed near what seemed to be a fountain, a waterfall pouring from a silver tube. Both the ants had a powerful thirst and a longing to dip their feverish heads into the refreshing water. Gotta remember, they just were cooked in a toaster. They quickly climbed along the tube. As they got closer to the rushing water, the ants felt a cool spray. They tightly gripped onto the surface of the fountain and slowly leaned their head into the water. But the force of the water was too much. Hermione, where's this waterfall at? Yeah, it's in the kitchen. But, yeah, the faucet, the spigot where the water comes out. Bingo, good job. The tiny insects were pulled off the fountain and plunged into a deep, wet, dark chamber. They landed on come on, wake up, Grayson, stay with me. They landed on a half-eaten fruit and the other soggy things, and suddenly the air filled with a loud, frightening noise. The chamber began to spin all around, and the ants were caught in a whirling storm of shredded food, stinging rain, and then quickly as it had started, the noise and the spinning stopped. Bruised and dizzy, the ants climbed out of the chamber. Now, I don't know if you guys have one of these at home or paid attention, But in the kitchen at school, when they take all your food off the tray, they scrape it into this big hole in the sink, and it's a garbage disposal, and it churns up all the food so it gets small enough that it can go through the drain. Ooh, wait, no, I don't think you can handle it. No, you'll be afraid of this. Okay. You too, Hermione? Okay, Ethan? Okay. Daylight came once again, and they raced through the puddles and up the smooth wall. In the distance, they saw something comforting. 2 long, narrow holes that reminded them of the warmth and safety of their underground home. They climbed up into the dark openings, but there was no safety in those holes. A strange force passed through the wet ants. They were stunned, senseless, and blown out of their holes like bullets from a gun. When they landed on the tiny insects were too exhausted to go on, and they crawled into a corner and fell asleep. Where did they crawl into? Where do you guys think? Yeah. See this? This is what you plug. There's the plug. And that's why you don't want to stick anything in there. You want to be careful because those things have electricity that can jolt right through you. Night returned when the battered ants woke to a familiar sound. The footsteps of their fallen insect friends had come back for more crystals. The 2 ants slipped quietly to the end of the line. They climbed the glassy walls and once again stood amid the treasure. But this time, they each chose a single crystal and followed their friends. Standing at the edge of the anthole, the 2 ants listened to the joyful sounds that came from below. They knew how grateful their mother queen would be when they gave her their crystals. At that moment, the 2 ants felt happier than they ever felt before. This was their home. This was their family. This was where they meant to be. I think I said this is one of my favorite stories ever. I just love this story. Hope you enjoyed it. How did we rate it? Okay? We like it? Pretty good? Good. I'm glad. So, I hope you guys are doing good. Oh, you know what time it is? It's lunchtime, isn't it? Because right after I read, we always go and pick up books and then eat. Well, I'm missing you guys like usual, and I hope to see you in the very soon near future. Okay? Take care. Be good for your mom and dad, okay?